back with the 49ers on a 5-year, $170 million deal. The biggest deal for a defensive end, well, for a defensive player in NFL history by a wide margin. I'm here to break it all down right after this.
Let's go get him. Let's go get him today, man. Let's go. Hey, dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3, dominate.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the program. And this one is a crazy one because the 49ers have re-signed Nick Bosa, a 5-year, $170 million deal. We were all wondering, when is this one going to happen, right? It wasn't a matter of if, but rather when. But then the questions started arising over the last week. But now that's all gone. Nick Bosa is a 49er. The 49ers, they're now going from stock down to stock up because they've got a key player who's going to be in the building and playing week 1 when they travel to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. Before we get into the deal and really my breakdown of the numbers, let's get into what Kyle Shanahan said. I mean, there was clear urgency. I said this yesterday. There was clear urgency on the 49ers' part to get this deal done. Why? Because Nick Bosa does not need the 49ers as much as they need him. Every single game in the NFL matters. If you lose one game, that's the difference between the championship, a first seed and a second seed, that first round bye. If you lose another game, that's the difference between your first round bye or your division and then being second place and then not getting a home game. There are so many implications that come with losing games. And Nick Bosa was going to, if you miss out on him, your chances for week 1 are much lower than. It's not that they're much lower, but they are lower than if you obviously have one of the best players, one of the most talented players in terms of pass rushers in the entirety of the NFL. 49ers got it done. Great job on them. Nick Bosa is back. Now let's go into the numbers because these numbers are certainly interesting. Nick Bosa got a 5-year deal worth $170 million. You average that out. That is a $34 million per year deal for Nick Bosa. And I think that, when you look at this deal, this was expected. What did I tell you guys last night? When you guys came over here, watched my stream last night when I was talking about Nick Bosa in this situation, I expected the deal to involve a salary, an average annual value of $32 to $35 million per year. I expected the guarantees to be around $120 million per year, and the guaranteed at signing money to be over $85 million in total. And so when you look at those three numbers, what happened? Bosa, 5-year, $170 million deal, right in the middle of that threshold at $34 million a year. What was his guaranteed money? At $122.5 million, slightly above what I had predicted at $120 million. And then what did I say about the guaranteed at signing? Over $85 million. That number hasn't been broken out yet, but I believe that it will be in excess of the $85 million range or around the $85 million range for Nick Bosa. The $34 million per year exceeds Aaron Donald's $31.6 million per year record. That was the record for a defensive player in terms of the highest salary. And you know what's coincidental? Josiah Anderson reported it's an 8% increase from what Aaron Donald got to what he got. You know who else had an 8% increase? Joey Bosa, when he broke the bank on his deal in comparison to Myles Garrett's deal back in 2021, when he got, $100 million or $102 million in total guarantees on a 5-year, $135 million deal. He broke the bank. He went from 25 million to 27 million. That was an 8% increase. Nick Bosa gets the same increase, going from 31.6 million to 34 million. That's a characteristic increase. They wanted to break the bank, and they wanted to break the bank in a certain way. The 49ers finally caved. They got it done, and Bosa had that APY. But the biggest thing so far, again, I told you yesterday, The average annual salary does not matter as much. What truly matters in the deal is the guaranteed money at signing, the total guarantees, and the signing bonus. The three guaranteed factors that really play into how contracts are structured and how much leverage the 49ers have in the situation. That's what you have to look at. We only have one of those numbers so far. We have the 49ers and what Nick Bosa was fully guaranteed, $122.5 million. Let me repeat that. $122.5 million. That is a lump sum for Nick Bosa. And why is that important? Because who was the record breaker from the years past on a 5-year deal? It was his brother. It was Joey Bosa, who got $102 million fully guaranteed on that $135 million deal. Nick Bosa has now exceeded that by $20.5 million. 20.5. That's a near 18% increase for Nick Bosa. It's that significant as to how much he's actually been able to get out of this deal. And again, it was going to require this. I had anticipated it would cost $120 million guaranteed at signing. But the point is, you're going to do this deal because it's worth it. I anticipate the first 3 years of this deal to be fully guaranteed. The 49ers might structure it a little differently with option bonuses for cap hits and things like that. But as numbers wise, this is a massive deal for Nick Bosa, but one that had to get done and in this capacity. You weren't going to be able to get Nick Bosa for cheaper than what this deal ultimately came out to, and the 49ers got it done in perfect timing. Had he not gotten it done today, there's a little less optimism that he plays week 1. Getting Nick Bosa back today allows you to have him fully practice on Thursday, fully practice on Friday, and get through all the walkthroughs prior to the game. You don't miss out on too much. You get 2 full practices prior to the game, which Kyle Shanahan said would be pretty intense practices. Obviously, you want to see how he is when he gets back into the business, but this is Nick Bosa. You're not too worried about his conditioning. You're not too worried about him staying in shape. That's something he's likely done the entirety of the offseason, just in his own capacity. Now, though, going into week 1, the 49ers' fortunes are much different because you're having Nick Bosa out there alongside Clelin Ferrell instead of Drake Jackson and Clelin Ferrell or whoever ends up being the starter. That's a significant difference. And now I'm excited to see how does the Nick Bosa pairing work with Javon Hargrave and Arik Armstead and, vice versa, because Nick Bosa makes everybody around him better, but you've got 2 studs there on the defensive line that the whole point of signing Javon Hargrave was to get a star-studded starting group that you could rely on to play 3 downs, And so I'm very excited to see how the 49ers kind of incorporate Nick Bosa week 1. I'm assuming he's going to be a full go. Kyle Shanahan insinuated that anyway, joking a lot, saying how many snaps are there? He's going to play the whole game kind of thing. And I don't think that he's joking fully in that I think Nick Bosa is going to play week 1. I think he's going to play a good amount. We'll obviously see when he gets back to practice tomorrow. Probably going to be in front of a podium. We'll hear what he has to say on the whole situation. But this is a record-breaking deal for the 49ers and Nick Bosa, but one that ultimately had to get done at this cost in order for Nick Bosa to come back before week 1. I applaud the 49ers for getting it done, but you still do have to worry that it took this long for them to come to this arrangement when in reality, while the numbers look in excess of what the past was, this is what it was going to have to take. Glad the 49ers got it done so that Nick Bosa could play week 1. Much would have rather this happened sooner. I think Kyle Shanahan may have done what he did in the past, just like he did with Trent Williams. Go ahead. You tell him. Go get it done. Go get it done. That kind of thing. But overall, a significant deal for Nick Bosa. And the 49ers now are looking good. They're looking good ahead of week 1 because they've got their full team ahead of them. A lot of players that were on the questionable ranking, they're coming back and they're going to be healthy, it seems. Great news for the 49ers here and a massive deal for Nick Bosa. We're going to be back, though, later today. I'm going to be live streaming it at 6:30 with my guy Marco. We're going to be breaking down this deal, the implications for the 49ers, and all of that later today. So make sure you guys stay tuned. That is it for me. Just wanted to get on here, give you guys my thoughts on the numbers, truly what it means for the 49ers and the salary cap implications. We're going to hear more numbers, signing bonus, guaranteed at signing, and how the 2024 cap hit. That's a big question. How that truly aligns later on, but stay tuned for that, and we'll catch you guys next time.